Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome in and welcome to this new moon in Gemini ceremony. We are very, very excited to have an opportunity to do this with you today. What I want to point out is that we know that this is in the middle of the day for a lot of people, so a lot of people may be at work. I want to assure you, though, that we are going to be very much including everybody that's on the recording in this um, intention setting, because we are in a quantum world now. So this allows us to be able to do things like this together, just like when we read for the collective, we have that energy, whether you watch it later on or whether you're at a live. So I want to say hello to both Wendy and Ceree today, if you want to say hello.
Hi, glad to be with you, Dawn.
Hey, everybody.
So I want to just give you an idea of what our little ritual is going to be like today. We are going to start with Ceree is going to be doing a clearing for us, and that will really help us get our energies in. This is a very powerful new moon energy, and it's very air oriented. So grounding is really important, and in the next several months will be very, very important. After that, I will be running through the astrology, which is fascinating, and it includes a lot of the asteroid goddesses. I'm going to limit that because I did a video separately on that, so that you won't get stuck with all that information. But Hecate is speaking loud and clear in these messages. The reason I mentioned Hecate is because I was sitting here right before we started, and I bumped my bookshelf, and out popped the deck of Witch, women in charge of herself, right? And so this is Hecate that happens to be in this new moon energy. And then I was told, okay, you need to do a card. So there's a card that I will be doing at the very, very end after we finish the ceremony. But I wanted to make you aware of it, that Hecate actually has a message specifically for us that we'll be including in at the very end. So after I do the astrology, we're going to have Wendy draw some cards for us just before we do the ceremony, so we can get into the energy of that ritual and that clearing, right? Then the actual ritual. I'm going to remind everybody to have a paper and pen handy right now. So if you haven't had a chance to go and get that and have that available, please go ahead and grab that. If you have some nice looking paper, I am this time again using one of the note cards I got from Ceree. I chose one that is very emblematic of air and water, because I definitely feel this is such a strong air energy, and I wanted to really incorporate that in. And we do have a lot of things that are going to be indicating water in the astrology in the future. So with that, you don't have to have a candle. If you do, it's nice to be able to start that for yourself. But if you do not have a candle or water or anything else, that is fine. I did include today, these are my grandmother's reading glasses. She was a 27-degree Gemini sun with Pluto at 27 degrees with Gemini. So she was an amazing Gemini personality, played piano for silent movies. So that kind of gives you the idea of her energy. And she wanted to be here and be part of this. So we have a lot of things working in our favor. This is going to be a very, very powerful new moon ceremony. So I want to go ahead and turn this over to Ceree so that she can do a clearing for us before we get started. Go ahead, Ceree.
Okay. So I would like to welcome everyone once again, and we are so grateful seeing all these places where people are letting us know they're calling in from. And again, Dawn, if you'll put up the slide for me, I'm just going to ask everyone to close their eyes, just settle into your body, and let's take a couple of nice, deep, cleansing breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Again, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you continue to relax, let your shoulders drop. Let your breath soften. And just let the outer world fall away and focus on the present moment. Focus on your breathing. Notice where you have tension. Release that tension. Or just slowing it down and relaxing. You've arrived in sacred space. We gather under the potent darkness of the new moon in Gemini, a sign of fresh thoughts, new dreams, and infinite possibilities. The Gemini new moon invites you to open your mind, to clear old patterns, and commit to the dreams that spark your spirit. And as we are sitting in this beautiful sacred space, imagine that this warm golden light meets the top of our crown, gently swirling all the way down through our chakra centers, from the third eye all the way down through the root. And imagine that this beautiful energy is washing over your entire body. The light is pure, radiant, warm, and it clears any tension, stagnant energy, self-doubt, or confusion. Feel yourself becoming lighter and clearer as this beautiful light continues down your body and cleanses you. Like a blank page waiting for your next chapter to begin. Now, as you continue to breathe in deeply, as you exhale, release any stories, obligations, or identities that no longer align with your soul. Let go of the noise. Let go of the tension. Let go of all those shoulds. Today is about truth, your truth. Now imagine that you're standing at the entrance of a grand hallway filled with doors, each one a possibility, a dream, an intention calling to you. In your hand, you look down, is a silver key. You approach one particular door. It glows with light and draws you in. This is the doorway to your next soul-aligned intention. Open the door and step inside. What do you see? What does this dream look like? What are you doing in this dream? How are you feeling? And who are you becoming? Let the vision build as your heart continues to expand. Now whisper to yourself silently, I am ready. I allow this dream to come to life. I align my energies, my actions, and my thoughts with this intention. Let this become your prayer. Now place your hand on your throat and repeat silently, I speak my dreams into being. I trust my voice. I trust the timing. I trust the path. I am clear. I am open. I am ready. Let this Gemini energy infuse your mind with clarity, with curiosity, and commitment. Let the winds of change lift your dreams towards the stars. See a soft silver thread of light connecting your heart to the intention that you've just set. Anchor it in to the universe anchoring into the now. When you're ready, put both hands over your heart. Feel gratitude, feel joy, feel commitment. You are in alignment. You are supported. And so it is. Let's take one last deep cleansing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Ladies and gentlemen, we are clear. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was absolutely perfect. And I especially appreciated that putting our hand on our throat. This is Mercury. Mercury rules the voice and speaking our truth. And this is very much about what's going on. So I'm going to bring up the astrology. So give me just a moment. Here we are. All right. I just want to make sure it's up there. Good. Okay. And then I will hop back so you can see what's going on. This is the 6th degree new moon in Gemini. So anything that you would have at 6 degrees in your chart is going to be very, very activated. The interesting thing about this new moon is Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is in its own sign, which makes this very powerful. Mercury is what they say in its own chariot. Normally, when it gets close to the sun, it would be overpowered. But because it's in its own sign, any planet that's in its own sign and meets the sun is protected. So why is this Mercury so important? This Mercury just traveled through this area of the chart. It touched 27-degree Uranus, which is actually conjunct the Pleiades. So if you have any Pleiadian energy, you might have been getting messages because of that. And then Mercury moved over Sedna at 1 degree and Hygeia at 1 degree, and now is at 2 degrees in a trine to Pluto. Both of these are air signs. This is about communication. This is about starting something new. And one of the interesting things I've heard other astrologers say is, and I'm a Gemini rising, so I totally understand this. We want to know everything and we want to know it right now. We consider everything almost like a puzzle and we want to solve it and we want to fix it right now. Pluto is saying, yeah, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's supportive energy. It will help you clean out some of the things that need to be gotten rid of so that you can incorporate your gifts, so that you can speak your truth. The other energy that I think is rather amazing is that we have Chiron and Eris both at 25, 28 degrees exactly. 25, 28. So it is an exact conjunction to the minute. Eris, the person that didn't get invited to the party, that decided to stand up for herself and showed up anyway and threw the golden apple in the mix. Chiron, not only the wounded healer, it's important to remember that Chiron was also a mentor. What can we do to help other women? And this energy is in sextile to Jupiter. This is an energy of helping energy for Jupiter and Chiron and Eris. So we also have Venus here. Venus is just finishing up a trine with Mars. So we have that beneficial energy of the divine feminine and divine masculine working together within ourselves, actually. The other interesting thing about this chart is that we have Mars in Leo. What is what you want to do? What is your bliss? Do that. This chart is very much asking us to be very active in what is going on in our lives. It wants us to step forward. It is a special aspect. It's called a quincunx. you can completely forget what the name of that is now, because I'll tell you the magic of it. It is exactly 72 degrees from this new moon to this 18-degree Leo. It's 72 degrees, Mars and Leo. This is the most harmonious aspect that we have. It is a magical aspect. It is something that we can take and utilize for ourselves. Again, doing things, being active and being activated. The interesting thing about this chart also is Hecate is being highlighted in a yod. Hecate is the goddess of the dark of the moon. She rules new moon rituals. Hygeia is at 1 degree. Sedna is at 1 degree. Neptune is at 1 degree. And Hecate is at 1 degree. Very powerful energy. We also have Mercury, Hygeia, and Sedna all together here with this new moon. This is all in this, first 6 degrees. You here have Saturn, who's only been here a little over 48 hours. Saturn and Neptune are together here now. They'll conjunct next February. But it's also Ceres that is here, that mother energy, that mother earth energy. See how all of these goddesses are talking with each other and helping each other out. This is sextile energy. This is taking advantage of opportunities that are presented to you. And then over here at 6 degrees, the same degree as the new moon, we have Black Moon Lilith and Vesta in Scorpio. Where have you been made to feel shame? This is healing your witch wound with Hecate. And if you have an issue with the fact that, saying witch wound, it is very much the energy of the high priestess, the magician, which is Gemini, and the special gifts that we all have that Hecate is asking us to step forward into. So I think that this is what I want you to take away. This is a very, very positive new moon. The activity is really happening between Jupiter and the North Node as a square, and Mars and Uranus as a square and a half or a square. So it's this energy of the unexpected. And Gemini, being a mutable sign, is going to be able to deal with it much easier than a fixed or a cardinal sign. We do have the energy of the collective is going to be very affected by this Saturn entry into Neptune, but utilize it and set intentions as making your dreams come true. Chaos creates opportunity. Do I think we're going to have some chaos coming up? We have Uranus entering Gemini. Of course, we're going to have chaos coming up. Is it going to feel like there's a lot of information coming at you? Yes. My advice is, again, don't watch the news. The weather is all you really need to listen to right now, because things are going to be coming out. The truth is going to be coming out, but you will need to focus on your own personal life regarding this. This is about you personally. This new moon in Gemini is about you personally and you taking steps. You can't hide who you are anymore. Claim your truth. Claim who you are. Even if you don't have all the answers, and I don't know anybody that does. I don't know anybody that has all the answers, but you can take baby steps into what you want to start in your life. New learning opportunities. This is very Gemini energy. Curiosity. What lights you up? The ability to be creative is very Gemini energy. And the ability to communicate with other people. A lot of what I'm seeing in this chart is divine feminine communicating and supporting each other. And I feel our particular channel, the spiritual view, is very much about that kind of energy of us all supporting each other. So I am just totally excited about this new moon energy because I think we can make amazing, amazing opportunities for ourselves by utilizing this energy. And we have it going forward for the next 6 months until we get to the full moon in Gemini in the fall. And in that time, Uranus is going to be moving from Taurus into Gemini. Again, very quick, very fast, new innovations. Jobs are going to be changing. Please accept that. Jobs are going to be changing. Everybody's job is going to be changing. But you can utilize this energy to take you forward and propel you forward. I think even in 6 months, we won't believe all the different changes that have come about because of all the new inventions that are going to be coming through and how we can utilize those and choose what we want to move forward with. Not all new innovations are meant for us. We have to decide what is important to us. So I do want to go to Wendy, and let me just get rid of, I have to do one more thing. Let me add this up here. When you are looking at your chart, this is just a representation. I'm on the inside and this is on the outside, the red. I'm on the inside and the blue. If you have anything at 0 to 6 degrees or actually 0 to 8 degrees of the the mutable signs, this is going to be helping you with change, right? I have a 6-degree Mars in Gemini. So I have not been able to sleep. I was on before we came on stage, I was like, I'm so ready and so empowered by all of this energy. So this is what you can utilize in your chart. I have a 6-degree Mars. I have a 6-degree moon in Aquarius right near Pluto. And I have a 6-degree Venus in Virgo. Anyone that has Pluto in Virgo is a healer. You have healing abilities within you. And I want you to note those things because you're going to be stepping into healing capabilities that you didn't even know you were aware of, right? You weren't aware of it at all. You're going to be getting new things in and you're going to be like, I didn't know I could do this. That's going to be coming. And the way we can actually heal ourselves is going to be coming. So let's go ahead and remove that. And Wendy, I'm going to put you up, hopefully here. Oh,
Okay.
to Wendy at the stage. There you go. I will get this, I hope. If not, it'll just be you. I guess it'll be all three of us then.
It can be all three of us. It's fine. Okay, so I pulled some cards from the Mystic Sisters Oracle deck, but I have other decks here. And as I was pulling the cards out, a couple of cards jumped out of the Alice the Wonderland Oracle. And I just want to show those really quick. Is wake up, it's your moment. And then becoming braver, resilience, experience, growing stronger, fresh perspective. So those messages definitely wanted to come through and be heard, which I think we've been getting that quite a bit in our readings, things coming out. For the cards that came from the Mystic Sisters, and I normally, like, I did 3 cards and I pulled one for underneath, and normally I would share the one underneath last, but it's Eris. So I wanted to share the underneath card first because this is kind of the energy that we are working in. So even regardless of the energy that you are currently in or trying to work with, this is the energy that is around all of us and surrounding all of us, and that we're all collectively in together. So I want to read her card first. Let's see. So Eris is turmoil, discord, corruption. Eris is the goddess of chaos and discord. Drawing this card indicates that there is a high level of disorder in your present reality. A matter important to your well-being is out of your control. It is incredibly important to remember that the pulse of the cosmos vacillates between order and chaos. If the situation you are facing is truly out of your hands, it is time to release all feelings of guilt or responsibility. Trust the universe to put things in order. On the other hand, if you do have the power to recreate harmony and set things right, then now is the time to do so. So I thought that was extremely fitting in everything you were just talking about. Okay, so then the first card to come through was Witch's Brew, which is cultivate, healing, refine. I feel like there's a lot of healing energy going on right now. A lot of people kind of clearing out old wounds, as you were saying. So, and I love that it's the Witch's Brew, which goes along with that, the wound that you were speaking of. So the witch stirs her cauldron full of the perfect healing herbs to cure anything that ails you. Her whole world is rich with resources, and she has cultivated it all to concoct her potions. Throughout time and through extensive efforts, she has developed skills, knowledge, and wisdom. This goddess is creative, industrious, versatile, and talented. She gives a centered feeling of well-being by the warmth of her fire. When this card is drawn, it is time to develop and refine your own qualities of constancy, attention, and imaginative consideration. It is well worth knowing what you don't know and taking the time to fill in the gaps of your knowledge in your chosen interest. Sorry, there's Dawn. I'm like, did we lose Dawn? Okay. So again, working on healing those things, finding our own talents that are coming in and kind of trying to hone those things. Then Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin's been coming up quite a lot, right? We have compassion and empathy. So that's the energy we want to be moving forward and trying to kind of battle all of this with what's going on with Eris. So this is our reminder, hey, when you're feeling down, when you're not sure where to look or where to go, remember Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin is the Asian deity of mercy and compassion. Her name literally means observing the cries of the world. She sits at the center of a mandala and can see every point of view at once. The action this card asks of you is to find a more transcendent perspective. Realize that when we make judgments or harsh criticisms toward ourselves or others, we are likely not taking the full story into account. We've all suffered, and when we are doing well, it isn't always easy to remember what it felt like during our rocky phases. We must try to recall the details, including all the sorrows and pain and the courage involved in making a change. This allows us to increase our empathy and gain wisdom. I would also add that, when we are going through these hard times, to remember there will be good times ahead. And then this time that we are going through that is hard and difficult will just feel like a faded memory, and it won't be, the only thing we're thinking about. Okay, and then I love that this was the last card. It's the magical key. Ties right in with Hecate and everything we were talking about there. So the magical key, yeah, this is great. We have lost and alone in a deep, dark forest, a poor, bedraggled girl cowers in a state of hopeless despair. The dove above her holds a key in its beak, which symbolizes peace and hope. Drawing this card indicates that it is now extraordinarily important to have faith in a benevolent universe. You have become susceptible to fear, depression, hopelessness, worry, and wild imaginings of the worst case scenario. You may have found yourself in a difficult place, but the challenge now is to be optimistic, to look up and be aware that help is nearby. Use your imagination for seeking the best case scenario to achieve a resolution. Trust that you will again find peace. And again, I think that just perfectly ties into everything we've been talking about, what's going on in the world today, where we're all at, the transitions we're all kind of going through. Just kind of beautifully wrap that all up and with a neat little bow. So I think we're ready to go on to our ritual, Dawn.
All right, thank you. And I am just completely overwhelmed, not surprised, that we are getting such powerful messages in, because there are certain things in our charts that are lit up going, oh, have I got news for you? And I think we are also going to be appreciating new things to learn. Gemini is also about learning. And we are going to be there's so many places that you can get this knowledge from. And I really want everyone to take advantage of the fact that you have messages coming in. You have synchronicities that are going to be showing up. Today, I knew this was going to be very powerful. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I hope everybody has their paper handy. Again, I chose this energy of the storm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by lighting a candle. I chose today, this is a calcite candle, blue. I wanted to utilize the energy of Gemini. And if this doesn't work, I'm going to use matches. So there we go. Here we go. So I'm lighting this candle with the energy of fire. So we have that as part of this ceremony. If you have a candle, please go ahead and light it now. And it's nice that Ceree isn't going to be stopped from doing that because she's now at home. And what I want to point out too is sound. To me, this represents the energy of the wind, of hearing things, of utilizing what is around you. I also brought water in because I think one of the things that we're getting as a message is we need to have self-care. So I make a point of doing this, that this is a self-care ritual for everyone. I'm also today utilizing ancestor energy, again with my grandmother's reading glasses. So she was a very, very powerful Gemini, totally believed in getting messages from other realms. And she trusted synchronicities. So I can actually credit some of my family understanding what I do, because they're like, oh, grandma would love that. Grandma would love that. So that energy coming forward. So let's go ahead and take a look at Gemini and what you can be asking for in this time if you weren't aware of some of the things that are available for you. I will mention a few things that come up, and then I will tell you what some of mine are. So if anybody wants to share. But Gemini rules logic. It's about short-term results, variety. Gemini energy loves variety. So look at different avenues of what is going on in your life. I will also say one of the interesting things that came up was a sample was I want to find myself navigating the internet with ease. So that's how long ago this book was written, because it's now just not the internet. I actually wrote, I navigate all new technology with ease. So I think that is a very, very good intention to set for yourself with everything new that's coming up, to be able to easily understand that. Communicating with other people. I want to be able to communicate in such a way that people can understand what I'm saying. I also found this interesting. I want to easily find myself accepting other people's ideas as true for them. You're not going to change anybody's mind. And I also call that otherwise known as don't get involved in other people's drama, right? Step back into that observer mode, knowing that what they're speaking is true for them, and let them have that. At this point, there's such a division in different subjects that you're not going to change someone who's entrenched in an idea. You need to let them have their space and let them hold that. That is part of stepping back from this energy of what's going to be going on in the collective. Let people have their own opinions. You can feel what's positive for you. I want you to also realize that this can be about you communicating with relationships with other people. It's also about neighbors and siblings, the people that we communicate with on a daily basis. That's an important part of this Gemini energy, because we can get new information from people or messages from people that you don't even necessarily have to like them, but all of a sudden something comes out of their mouth and you're like, oh, that was that unintentionally they gave you a message. So that is a very, very possible thing that it's going on. One of the things I did want to also note here too is this is very much about writing and speaking. Gemini and Virgo, Mercury related. Writing and speaking. If you want to increase your ability to be out front, some people are afraid to start YouTube channels. And I would say, go ahead and start one. Put things out there and get used to doing it. That is your step forward. What are you waiting for? That is what Hecate is asking us. What are you waiting for? What is stopping you from stepping out and being seen? This is what we're going to be asked to do more and more. Not to convince anybody else, but to, I think, show calmness. Because I still believe that you change the world by people going, I'm tired of being frantic and unhappy and caught up in my head about stuff. But those people over there seem to be having a good time, and they're enjoying what they're doing, and they're learning. And yes, not everything's perfect, but they seem pretty happy. And I want that. And because you're holding the vibration that you are, all of us here that are watching this are light workers, guaranteed. Your vibration that you are holding is helping other areas, even the area that you're currently living in. Your vibrational level, just by walking around and being yourself and smiling at people and saying hello and not getting caught up in who's right, who's wrong, but just being and utilizing your energy to move forward and speak your truth. Speak your truth. And if people don't agree with that, okay, then they're at a different vibrational level, and let that be. And let that be. So it also is about effective listening skills. Geminis, we love to talk. Mars and Gemini, I'm like a Gemini on steroids. So the interesting thing about Geminis is that we do actually have a great interest in other people. And if you are one of those people that has issues with being able to communicate with other people, part of that is the listening and hearing what is going on in someone's life. And because we are light workers, sometimes us just being told that is a healing Cheroklo moment for that other person. I want you to realize the power that you have. You all have it. People that you don't know, I've had many people do that, where I run into someone and they start talking about their life, and just just mentioning that they had lost a child or a parent, and just touching on that memory for a moment brings a healing moment in for them. And you don't have to do anything to make that happen. You just have to listen. That is what's available to us right now. So claim what is your special energy and special power. Now, I'm going to share what I have written down for myself as part of this communication. I might add a few others later because we're still within that window. So the very first one was, I navigate all new technology with ease, says the person who's technologically challenged. So I think that is going to be a big one for me, and I'm going to claim it. So that's my Gemini. I easily attract sources of information that will guide my path. Very much about getting the information that you need, or finding the mentor that you're meant to find, someone that you're meant to learn from. I clearly see my options for constructive changes in relationships. Communication. I easily find myself communicating in ways that bring important messages through to others. I absorb and process information easily and am guided to profound truths. And I think that will be happening more and more for people as we step forward. I saw someone mention how long is the window open. You would say it's usually open 48 hours from the point of when the new moon perfected, which would have been last evening late. So you have 48 hours from last evening. All of this energy is still very activated for you. I didn't want to do anything at midnight last night. So I actually decided we would do this and then allow people the opportunity to view it when they are able, and being part of the quantum energy of being able to watch things on a recording. I know without a doubt that it works. I've had it happen to me too many times not to realize that. So, Wendi or Ceree, do you have anything that you want to add that you're going to be utilizing?
Okay. I listened to my heart, not my head, because that one's, I think for many of us, we've been trained to think through the head and less through the heart. And then I trust my intuition and I trust my instincts in all things. I continue the lesson of compassion because I've been on a compassion journey with one of my siblings over the last several months. Those are some of the ones. And I also I learned to relax and rest more.
I think that is actually a beautiful sentiment, because one of the things I think that is happening with, we have, let me just double check this a second. Yeah, we do have Hygeia conjunct Sedna. And for me, Sedna was someone who no one looked out after, right? She had the terrible experience of having all the men around her basically betray her. And then she transformed. She transformed her energy, and she's going to be very activated in the next several months. So I'm very excited about that. You'll see other astrologers talking about that very greatly. But Hygeia is conjunct Sedna. Hygeia to me is self-care, proactive self-care, grounding your energy in, taking care of your day, eating good food, taking care of your daily needs, getting your rest. Sedna didn't have anyone to look out for her. You need to look out for yourself. It is very, very important in this energy to have self-care. I can't even tell you the number of astrologers who have said that you have to be the most important person in your life and you have to take care of yourself, especially with all this energy going forward. You're very important. You're a magician. You're a high priestess. You're a witch energy. And you can do things that other people can't because you believe that you can. And that is that also Gemini belief system. So what I want to do now that we have written down these things is I'm going to put that image back up, and we're going to just take a little meditation to enact that energy. So what I'm going to do is I'll put this up and then we'll start the meditation, adding to stage, and we'll just make it all about Hecate. So I want everyone to take a deep breath in. Pause for a moment and then slowly exhale out. We're going to do this 2 more times. Inhale. Hold. Slowly release. One more time. Inhale. Hold. And slowly release. We are now located in our favorite cabin. sitting on the porch, looking out at the dark sky. And today, we have written what our intentions are for this new moon in Gemini. So I want you to pack that intention with you. We are going to move to a sacred fire where we can unite with other people who are watching this on recording or who are with us now. So rise up from the porch, put your intentions in your pocket, and start moving forward through the wooded area as we're heading to the lake. As we're walking through this area, we can smell the new grass that has come up and the leaves that are rustling with the touch of the wind around us. We can hear them flutter and feel the breeze against our skin. As we're walking forward, we're walking towards a wooded area that is down near the lake. Again, you see the darker greens now because it is nighttime. The stars are very, very bright because there's no moon. This is the dark of the moon. This is ruled by Hecate. And she moves through this area with grace. She is the mother, daughter, and crone energy. And we experience all of those in our lives as we move forward from one age to another. We see a fire in the distance. As we approach this fire, we see other people walking around and visiting with each other. We see friends, people we've talked to before. We see many new faces. They are welcome. All are welcome. We start to circle around this fire. We see the fire reflected off the light from the lake. We can smell the burning wood from the fire, and it warms us. We are circling around and standing with others now, with this great fire in the center. You need to slowly remove your intentions from your pocket. And I want you to place your intentions on your heart. These are what you are intending to happen, that you expect to happen in the next 6 months. And you're pouring your energy of fun and the excitement of having this come forward, knowing that there are going to be opportunities that are opening up for you, new things to learn, so many new things to learn and to understand. You can pour the energy from your heart chakra into this intention that you have written. And when you have the opportunity, after this ceremony has been completed, you should speak those intentions out loud, because the voice carries the vibration, and vibration is very important for making things happen. So think about each intention that you are setting. You do not have to worry about how it's going to happen. The universe will take care of that. You just need to know that there are opportunities that are going to be coming forward for you. And people will be communicating with you, and opportunities will be opening up for you. You have to be brave enough to step forward. What is your bliss? What do you need to heal? What were you previously shamed into not doing for yourself. You're going to be changing all of that energy. You're going to be utilizing the energy of Mercury and also of Jupiter. At the end of the Gemini season, Mercury will join with Jupiter at 29 degrees of Gemini, a very powerful degree, before Jupiter then moves into where he is exalted in Cancer. This is a great opportunity for us to really sink into our energy of making things happen with the fortunate planet of Jupiter. So we have Hecate appearing around the fire. She is providing each one of us with a key. Keys are very important to Hecate. She is able to travel amongst all realms. She is able to go to the Akash. She is able to go to where the gods sit. She's able to go to the underworld and able to walk on the earthly plane. There is no door that she cannot open. And she gives you a key to help you utilize that energy for yourself. Some doors, the key won't fit. Then you need to move onward. What she's asking now is that you take this key and imbue that into your intentions. Now, I want you to send emotionally your intentions up into this fire. I want you to create a rainbow in your heart chakra, starting as a little wave and then becoming bigger and bigger as it then moves towards the fire. And you'll see other rainbows appearing and also joining your intentions in the fire. And there is a great swell of the flames up. And all the rainbows are then united and created. And then we have this beautiful energy of the rainbow flying up into the sky as our messages get transported up towards the stars. Anything is possible. We see the flames rising higher and higher and beautiful rainbows everywhere in the sky. This is what's possible when we are all working together. What a joyful experience. Now gently pull yourself back into your body, and you're still feeling the energy of your intentions against your heart, knowing that you have a key that goes along with that now. This is the time that we will now break away from our friends and continue along our path, knowing that we will be meeting up in the future and sharing energy with each other. We have much to utilize in the divine energy of both feminine and masculine. We have Mercury in charge of this communication for Gemini, and we have Mars and Venus in a trine in the sky. The balance of divine masculine and divine feminine. You're going to put your intentions in your pocket and head back to the cabin. You're going to walk back through the green energy of the forest, remembering that you will need to do this in the future as you're grounding, as the air energies are going to be very strong in the future. So often take your mind to walk down these paths where there's green and you can see the lake. This will help guide you into sharing your energy with Gaia. She is also ascending, and she needs our support, and we need her support. We are now climbing the steps back to our cabin, and we can turn and look back towards the lake and see the fire still burning. We can always look towards that fire knowing that that is our guiding light, what we want to do in the future, what we have happening for us in the future, what is going to happen in the future that is going to push us forward. So now you can slowly open your eyes. And we are all back together in this energy. I do want you to make sure before we close this energy out to give thanks to, before we started, I had intended to call in Uriel specifically because Uriel is very much activated during this time. And we will actually be putting out information regarding Uriel. But Uriel is the angel that is now going to be, I think, called upon to help you with future plans. It's that sudden download that Uranus will bring in when it enters into Gemini. And with Sedna, we are going to be getting amazing downloads in the future over this next 6-month period. So I want you to realize that energy of Uriel as part of your help from your archangels, as well as those that you have in your own, that you personally call on. I have a Sandalphon as one of my favorites. So what I want you to do now is if you have a candle, I want you to have it in front of you and to blow out the candle to end the ceremony. I did tell you at the beginning that Hecate had a message that happened to come out, and I was so stunned that this deck jumped off the wall, and then I was like, okay, I guess I'm supposed to utilize this. And it's her in the photo. This is Hecate. Hecate is in this yod. This is this energy. And the card that came out is a number 33 card. As Ceree said, Christ consciousness. This is the card. It is called Thief of Peace. Moments of anxiety, stress, and overwhelm are a part of life, but we don't have to make them worse by asking, what is wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. You've had unsupportive people in your past. You know now that you can rely on yourself and that you will make a new tribe. This is what's going to be happening for all of us in the future, that we are going to be able to find the people that I think we have connected with as souls in previous lives. I'm very much getting that energy of we have jobs to do. We are going to be put back in touch with people that know how to get things done. And we're going to be part of that energy. The very last part of this, I want to read out to you as well. A witch watches her thoughts carefully. She knows she is living a life today that a younger version of herself could only marvel at. You'll do that again, and with more and more grace, once you let go of the heavy thoughts weighing down your possibilities and clouding your clarity. This was the new moon in Gemini ritual. Thank you for joining us. I really know that we are going to be moving on into such greater energies that miracles are going to happen every day, every day. So with that, we'll say goodbye, and we will see you Thursday at 7 p.m. for our live. So have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. Bye, everyone.